Hi guys, Ryan Fowler here with Inner Masculine Live. Welcome to another show. We have a really great interview today. I'm going to play it to you guys. From time to time, I'm going to show client interviews, clients who've done sessions with me, self-hypnosis or hypnosis or whatever. And the reason for that is this is a solutions-based channel. I'm giving you guys good info. Any of you who know my background, you can go on my website, innermasculine.com, read my story. You know, I came from a very low place, had very severe depression with some manias, is bipolar type 2, lots of anxiety all the time, CPT, complex PTSD, just all this stuff that was wrong with me. And I did a lot of therapy, 100 sessions over 15 years. It fixed some of that, but more than half it didn't fix even after 100 sessions. And I found this methodology that was just so powerful, just fixed everything. And that was 10 and a half years ago. I had a day job that was very successful, working for myself, working out of my home, doing very well with it, did way better, doubled and then quadrupled my income after I cleaned out my internal world. Hi, Mike. Welcome to the show. We already have Mike on making comments. And so the whole reason I did this is I quit that very successful day job last year. I'm doing this full time now. I have some other business interests that I'm doing, and I have like projects to take this big, partnered with several individuals that'll be coming out. But I'm based on solutions. I'm based on helping you guys like I've been helped, because I know what it's like to struggle and suffer. And I know if you have bad subconscious beliefs, trauma stuck in your subconscious, you'll just struggle for the rest of your life unless you address this. So we're all about solutions. And from time to time, I'm going to be posting interviews with clients who've done sessions to show you guys this stuff is powerful. This stuff really works. And so we have a great, it's an audio interview today. It's about 17 minutes. Some of my, a lot of people don't want to talk about this personal stuff publicly. Some guys I've helped so massively, like totally change their lives. Women too. I do sessions for women, although I specialize in men. I'll help anyone, but I specialize in men because men and women are different and specialization is a good thing. But anyways, this guy, he was out of a sales force of 200 people. He lived with his parents, basically, lived in the basement or the bedroom with his parents. He was on a sales team of 200, second from the bottom, and then the bottom guy quit. So he was a bottom guy. We did a session. He went to number 7 out of 200. He had approach anxiety, 10 out of 10, down to 2 out of 10, then started approaching girls, started getting dates, not just dates, but having success with the dates. The girls liked them. They took things further, etc. And Mike, thanks. I'm glad you're enjoying the ebook. I'm going to talk about that now. So I'm not like other channels. I consider myself red pill, but not toxic red pill. If you guys are watching the red pill space, red pill guys crap on the black pill guys, right? Because the black pill guys just have a lot of trauma. Really, really, that's like the most toxic. There's a lot of toxic crap in the red pill. And some of these toxic red pill guys are starting to get called out on it. And honestly, they should, because they present all the negative, in order to get clicks, in order to get eyeballs. Let's look at the women who behave the most poorly, and they get more clicks from that because there's more drama there. There's more, I guess, excitement or emotion there, negative emotion. Well, people still like that. But we're about solutions here. And so I'm just showing you the massive success we have. I don't have 100% success rate. It's probably about 95, but I mean, it's way high. And this is just going to be another example of that today. I've changed hundreds of men's life. I've changed my own life. I know what it's like to struggle and suffer. And so we're going to show you this very interesting interview. One session, guy massively changed his life. And this interview took place 5.5 months after the session. We're showing you that it's permanent. And it's very interesting to listen to this, to see the guy's changes. But we talk about what's going on in his subconscious, how things change. And, Dan Pena, I played a Dan Pena clip. I'll probably play it again today. I'll find it and play it. Where Dan Pena says, self-esteem, Dan Pena, $500 million net worth. He's a $1 trillion man because he has trained his mentees, the people he's trained, have a combined net worth over $1 trillion. The most successful entrepreneurial trainer, business trainer, wealth trainer in history. And he says, Self-esteem is the basis of all high performance. It's formed by age 7. You either have it and you don't. Well, he's right about everything there, except you either have it or you don't. You can actually get it. That's what we do. We put it into you. I'm going to show you a black and white example of that today. Super cool. But let's go to the ebook. Mike Horton, great. Ebook's great so far. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Tell us why, if you don't mind, Mike, and welcome to the show. But let's talk about the ebook here. You can get the ebook, no charge. innermasculine.com/free-ebook. Go to the website, put in your email. Now, it says there's a waiting list. I'm trying to fix some technical stuff on my website. I got a guy on it. There's no more waiting list. We're having some technical issues with the automated email response, giving you guys the actual ebook. So put in your email. It might be 2 or 3 days before you get it. But, I'm trying to get my guy to fix it right now. It's just, it's growing pains. It's how it is. I'm brand new at this. Started my show in March. I quit my job in January doing this full time. It's all good. But the ebook is going to lay out the fundamentals of how your subconscious mind works and why it keeps you stuck. That's the first step. Know what's going on. You're going to read this ebook. You can read it probably within an hour. It's about, it's 30 pages, but when you get rid of the title page and table, it's really about 25. And it's just going to break everything down so you can apply it to your life. You're going to understand why you're stuck after reading this ebook. Up to this point, you may wonder, why do I quit stuff and I can't keep going? I'll succeed if I keep going. Why do I quit? Why am I afraid of failure? Why do I procrastinate? All this other, why do I have anxiety? Why do I feel bad about myself? We're going to talk, it talks about addiction, and I don't consider myself I'm not a licensed psychotherapist or anything like that. So understand that when I talk about addiction or anything else, I'm not licensed. I'm really a deep down self-belief coach. I'm a core subconscious belief coach, getting the bad beliefs out, the good beliefs in at a core level. That's what I do. And then people take off. I've taken off. I'm living my dream life. So I can live anywhere in the world. I'm in Mexico City now, Costa Rica in July, and it's great. And it's funny because I do sessions for people all over the world, and I have friends all over the world. I have friends here in Mexico City I hang out with. Anyways, and they're great people. Here's a table of contents. Everyone's heard about the subconscious, but no one knows how it actually works. Your average person doesn't. So what's a subconscious program? 95% of our behavior is dictated by our subconscious mind. What's it doing? How's it work? How's it influence us? This book is going to show you. It's going to show you how your subconscious works in a way that you can actually start understanding what's going on with you and why you're stuck, why you're not moving forward. So that's the first step. And honestly, at the end, if you go all the way to the end, there's actually a way to book a no cost, no obligation, 30-minute free consult with me. I'm not going to post that up front. I want that for the people who are going to read the book and put in some effort. But if you get the ebook, you put in the effort, at the end, there's a way to go no cost 30-minute consult with me if you so desire. So there's that. Let's play this Dan Pena clip. Now, give me a second. I got to pull it up because this is going to be an awesome precursor to this audio interview I'm about to play, where you're going to actually see someone go from a very low place in self-esteem to a much, much higher place in confidence, belief in their ability and value, self-esteem, etc. And so let me find this first. This is usually pretty easy to find, but I got to search for it on yeah, here we go. All right, I'm going to get to the right place. And then I'm going to share it right here. And this is really going to set up this interview we're going to listen to today. Again, the interviews are to show you guys this is nuclear powered stuff. So here's a Dan Pena clip, and then we're going to go into the actual interview. Oops, let's see. Why is this not? Hold on. There we go. Okay, Dan Pena speaking, $500 million net worth, the $1 trillion man, more successful at training ultra successful people than anyone else in history. Here we go.
Giggle, giggle, yeah, yeah, right? Has anybody tell 3 years old? Okay, now 7 years old, same thing. They're all happy. Then what happens? By the way, self-esteem is built the first 7 years of life. You either have it or you don't. Self-esteem is the basis of all high performance.
Okay, you heard it right there. The #1 success trainer in history. Been doing it 29 years. Self-esteem is the basis of all high performance. If you want to perform at a higher level, you can get the self-help book and learn new skills and all of that. But the basis is your belief and your value and your ability to succeed if you keep going. You heard it from him right here, self-esteem. So for you guys listening, if you want to up-level your life, the #1 place you start is with your deep down core beliefs about your value, your self-esteem. Start that first. That's what I do, and I do it better than anyone else I know, period. I mean, better than anyone else I've seen on YouTube, anywhere else, period. Not just people I know personally, but I do it better than anyone else. And I'm showing you client interview after client interview after client interview, massive changes. And I'm not going to stop because I know this is nuclear powered stuff. And just to be honest with you, I don't want to oversell it. Like I said, about 5% of people, they're very emotionally shut down, whatnot. And they're very difficult to help, about 5%. There's about 40% of my clients, it's life-changing. 1, 2, 3 sessions, absolutely life-changing. 40%, and different people have different levels of trauma and lack of self-belief. Some people come to me and they feel pretty good, and they have a few bad subconscious programs in them. So, 40% life-changing, those people that really need help. And they come to me and I change their life. And I show I got almost 20 testimonials. It'll be number 19. I got another 10 in my archives. I got another 2 guys agreed to come on the show. 40% of the people come to me are in a bad spot, and I get them to a great spot. Amazing progress. Another 40%, very, very, very helpful to them. Maybe not quite, maybe still life-changing, but at a lower level. But still very important. I get them unstuck, and they're doing much better afterwards. Maybe about 15%, it's moderate help. It's permanent benefit. But, some people are maybe a little less receptive to the process, or they just don't have a lot that needs to be fixed. So that's maybe 15%. 5% is difficult. And that always sucks. It sucks for the 5% that are very difficult to help or that I can't help. But honestly, 95% success rate, 95% of people are happy. They're like, wow, this really worked. This really helped. So, I want to give you an accurate picture. I don't want to say that everyone comes to me, it's night and day, because some people are not in the pits of hell. Some people are just moderately struggling with some stuff. And then I, help them. This guy was struggling fairly severely. And he was, Salesforce of 200, second from the bottom. He was basically a virgin when he met me. After I did a session, things changed in that area too with women. So you're going to hear about it. It's about a 17-minute interview. I think I'll just play it all the way through. But this is just to show you this stuff works. And if you guys want to up-level your life, or women are listening to this, I'll help anyone. If you want to up-level your life, if you feel like you're stuck, you can't move forward, you don't feel good about whatever, #1 to up-level is work on your subconscious, internal, core, deep down belief systems. That's what we do. It's the #1 thing you can do, and that's what Mr. Dan Pena, is talking about. That is the basis. So we're going to see this in action now. We're going to see giving self-esteem to someone and what it does to their success, keeping in mind what Dan Pena just said. Here we go. This is great. And this is, we'll just call him Mr. D. Great guy.
Sure. So the situation that I had was, I was 29. I was living at my parents' place. At the beginning of the year, honestly, I hadn't slept with any girls or gone on any dates or anything like that. And
is that ever?
No, I did go yeah, like didn't sleep with any other girls ever. I've gone on dates before, but never slept with any girls before. And after basically what happened was like last year I got really frustrated around dating and such.
Yeah, man.
And I decided to finally go and find some help. So was living at my parents' place. Didn't really work out anymore, especially once the coronavirus hit. I just basically became a hermit and just played video games, just stayed in my parents' place, just worked from home. And I always had, it felt like this.
How many guys does this happen to? Quite a bit, actually. But we can get you unstuck. We'll show you.
This weight that was on my shoulders. And also whenever I would decide to go and speak with the girls that I was interested in, I had this uncontrollable anxiety that I just didn't know where it came from.
Yeah.
And it just, I think we.
How many of you guys have high anxiety talking to attractive women? If you do, listen up. Here's the solution right here.
You'll hear like our main focus when we went to the first session there.
Yeah. And what kind of weight was that? You said there's a weight on you. What was that about?
That was about, like, I just didn't feel good about myself. I didn't feel good. I didn't feel like I was worthy of attention, of actually, being with these women, with being with men that were a lot, more successful than me. I just had really low self-esteem is what that weight was. I think the turning point was,
it's not a coincidence. He was second from the bottom or rock bottom, depending on how you look at it, at his sales force of 200. He just mentioned the reason why right there, but we fix it.
Right after our session, our one and only session. Yeah. That was when I felt, how do I say it? How to describe it? It was like there was this heavy feeling inside of my chest and gut that had been there for as long as I could remember. Yeah. And when that was lifted, I suddenly just felt this feeling of, I just felt a lot more free.
One session fixed it.
And the next thing I knew,
doesn't happen that way for everyone, but it happens a lot,
was that I started going towards things that I knew I had an interest in, things that I wanted to go and do, but I was always held back by that heavy feeling or that anxiety.
The chains are off, baby.
Yeah, the chains are off, man. The chains were off because once I started doing those things, and I was like, oh, I don't feel as bad as I used to. I actually enjoy this now. I don't feel the anxiety. I don't feel the, that weight anymore. So I was like, let's just keep going. And then as I just kept pushing forward there, and I didn't feel any walls, any obstacles pushing me back. That's, I would say, what allowed me to really make a lot of the huge changes in my life. It was just after that first session when those chains were off, that's when I was able to really start to, I'd say, expand my world and really just go out there and take hold of the day.
Yeah. So how are things different now? What are the change? This our session was it about 3 months ago?
It was back in, I think, the end of May was when we had our session.
So maybe 4.
Yeah, 3-4 months there.
And so how are things different now?
So things are different now is, originally, remember when I said that I wanted to maybe move out at the end of the year or next year or something like that. Basically, like, after that,
I'm going now, baby.
No, that's exactly it. Because after our session happened, I was like, God damn it, I want to move out as soon as I can. I want to get out like next week or something. So, I had some criterias for the place I was looking for. I didn't move out like the next week, but I did move out about a month after our session. I moved out, found a place, and at first I had all these, I'd say, concerns because I was like, okay, how I'm gonna take it. Oh yeah, like it's completely new.
Yeah,
and
big change.
The great thing about it was after it was a big change, yeah, but it was definitely a very exciting one, because when I finally got my own place, now that I was cooking my own food, now that I had, I'd say, more control over my time, because I didn't realize that just spending time with my parents and doing a bunch of stuff that they wanted to go and do took up so much of my own time that I couldn't really focus on other projects or like getting better at improving my skills. So I would say now I was able to get my own place, was able to pay attention to my weight, working out, actually cook the things that I want to go and cook, and keep track of the calories and such. Just become really, I'd say, very very specific in everything that I was doing.
Yeah.
And then also on the dating front, went on a couple dates within less than 2 months, man. Like after
What
our
happened to
session.
your approach anxiety? Because that was pretty high before, right? Scale of 1 to 10, how bad was your approach anxiety? This is what happens when you believe in yourselves at a core level. You get the opposite out. Some of you guys don't even, a lot of us disconnect from our pain. We run away from it. We tune out with video games, smoking weed, alcohol, porn, whatever. Maybe hard drugs. I hope not, but it happens, right? And we run away from what's in us because of all this. Not feeling good about yourself really sucks. And so we want it, it's painful. We want to numb it out. And then maybe you're not even aware. Some people are. They know they don't really believe in themselves and their value and their ability. Some people numb it out with all these activities I just described, and you're not even aware of it. Or maybe it's all you've ever known. You've been in a toxic, dysfunctional family since you were a baby. You're like a fish born into a pond of dirty water, and you don't even understand how dirty the water is. It's all you've ever known, but you know your gills hurt. And so some people don't even understand what is in them and that it's not normal, but they know they're struggling. They're not up leveling in life. They do have emotional pain, other pain, bad relationships. They get attracted to toxic people who then use and abuse them in all of this. When you get this out, he's telling you already within 2 months, my life was just like taken the hell off. When you get this deep down belief in your ability and value, that's what happens. And I've seen it hundreds of times. It's happened to me. We'll keep going. This is a core. For those of you who are struggling and are like, why can't I get ahead? This is why. This is what we need to fix. And we can fix it for almost all of you. For those I can't help, the 5%, there's other stuff. EMDR. You need to get a really good EMDR guy. Most of them kind of suck. But if you get a really good one, when it's done correctly, or certain psychedelics, ketamine's now legal. You can go to other countries where other types of psychedelics are legal and get someone really good who will do a guided session while under the influence of these psychedelics. That can help too. So don't give up. Solutions are out there. You can get this deep down core belief in your ability and value. You can get it in you, and then everything changes. Here we go.
It was at least a 10, man. It was at least a 10.
What's it at now? 10 out of 10
Now?
approach anxiety.
Now it's at like, say a 2.
Wow.
I mean, because there's still that, like, that
one session did that. That's what happens when we change your core. Some people we need 3 or 5 or 2. Many people 1. It just depends. But this is above average, but not uncommon. These results.
little like hindbrain.
Always going to be
right?
some. Yeah. The ancestors who survived from caveman times were the cautious ones. We're always going to have a little. But
yeah.
What made the difference then?
I'd say the difference was that uncontrollable anxiety that I was feeling, that we found out was from some trauma that I had in the past with I'd say my early experiences with women that I was interested in. Once we were able to clear that, basically at that point it was just I was just home free. So
dude, yeah. And you like your tone of voice and just your mannerisms now are markedly more confident than when we first met, man.
Thank you. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's amazing, man. I mean, I'm really, really happy that you're doing the work that you are, just because I went through a bunch of different other like personal development modalities. I went and saw a psychologist and everything before meeting you. But
how many sessions?
I'd say a lot, man. I went over, I think, like 1 to 2 years, basically 1 to 2 years, at least 1 to 2 times a month. So maybe like anywhere from 24 to 48 sessions.
And did that help at all, or how was that?
It helped. Just like it helped, but it wasn't as big of a change as doing hypnotherapy. Like there was little incremental changes.
That's my experience too. And that is pretty typical of the conventional methods. They help slowly over a long period of time. And I, on another show in the past, I pulled up this comprehensive study about the effectiveness of CBT compared to hypnosis. And it was a peer-reviewed scientific study. And they say the so-called gold standard of psychotherapy, cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, that's the main conventional method they used. And they say in that maximally, at most, half of people with mild to moderate depression are helped by this technique, which means 50% or more are not helped at all by CBT. The sit on the couch, talk to the therapist thing. Half are helped, half aren't. At most, half are helped. And those who are helped, it's incremental, it's small, it takes a long freaking time compared to, hey man, one session, massive change. That's pretty typical, or massive, or at least substantial. Some people don't have massive trauma to clear, they have moderate trauma. So it's substantial, noticeable. Those with severe trauma, if we get out in one session, which again is not uncommon, get a 95% notice a permanent difference afterwards. But it's not talking to the guy for a year or 3 months, once a week or twice a month or whatever before you notice a change. It's right the frick away. It's great.
But nothing as, I'd say, as impactful as what we did.
In that one session, how did that one session compare effectiveness? I'm trying to spread this message to the world. The next wave of technology is here to help you folks. This is it. This is the spearhead right here. Effectiveness wise. And I'll keep playing testimonials until the world freaking figures it out. They're taking too long. I'm kind of impatient. Hey, it's all good. I'll keep going. I won't give up. I don't give a shit. Compared to the 2 to 4 dozen traditional psychotherapy sessions you did before.
Oh, it's like night and day. Like after our like seriously, night and day. There's no other way to describe it. It was just I noticed right away after our session just a complete change inside of my body, my demeanor, and everything. And I was like, wow, like psychotherapy never had anything like this. So.
I'm still shocked. I'm still constant. When I do sessions, I still get shocked at how well it works. And I've been doing it for myself for like 8 years, and for others like 2 or 3 at this point. But yeah, keep going.
No, I was just gonna say, man, like it's like magic, basically. It's like you're just flipping a switch, and then you just cleared out decades of whatever trauma I was dealing with there.
That's so cool. Yeah. Such an honor and pleasure to help you guys. And honestly, guys need to know about this. They need to hear about experiences from dudes like you, because there's so many different methodologies out there. They need to know what stuff really works, because otherwise they're just going to be suffering for another 5-10 years. And how many of them might give up hope? And maybe, so I appreciate you sharing your story. What other kind of positive benefits have you noticed after your session, and anything else, not just the session, but anything else you've been doing to help other guys, who are struggling? What else has helped you, and what other benefits have you noticed?
I'm just still surprised at how much has changed, because I look back at how I was when I first found you, and then found John and all that information, and then looking at it now, I would say I was able to integrate more of it into my life so that it became second nature, to the point where now that there are these younger guys that they just reach out to me, and then they had, I guess I would say I'm able to go and help them. To kind of
you hear that? And when you get this core belief, people do reach out to you. They do notice a difference. It makes you alpha, but it makes you a good alpha. I want to see what this guy's doing. I want to figure it out. They look to you as a teacher or leader. That makes you the alpha. Well, I mean, really, who gives a shit about the status, right? But it's showing people notice the difference, and then they start looking to you as you ascend through your inner world, the outer world growth. By the way, when you get this, not only do people look to you as a teacher and leader, etc., but other people that are higher up that can give you guys opportunities to excel and succeed, or they're going to start to look to you as one of their own, and they're going to start sharing those opportunities because they're going to see, hey, this guy has value he can give me. I'm going to give him some value. We're going to have equal exchange, and they're going to help you up level, and they're going to benefit too. That's how it works. Your inner world goes up, and all this he's talking about, oh, other people are looking to me for advice now. It's a natural progression, and it's freaking amazing. It really is.
Really be objective in seeing like, okay, this is what we can do to improve, and this is what you probably shouldn't do, and you should maybe avoid doing, you know, things in this situation, whether it's like with your money, with moving out, with like women or something like that. And I honestly never thought that I'd get into that position. I thought maybe it would take at least a year. Yeah, like totally.
Awesome.
And it's amazing. I just never thought that it would happen that quickly.
So cool, dude. Yeah, and I checked. Actually, our session was about 5.5 months ago. Just shows you how quickly time flies. But in 5.5 months, you went from a guy no success with women, like literally no success or extremely little success, to now you've been with some really cute girls, and not like, you know, they look like good girls too. I mean, maybe they're not good girls, but they look classy, you know. And has your work improved at all, or how's that going?
Work has. With work, I would say for about 3 months. It was around the time when we started our session. Since we had gone through that transition of working from home, I'd say obviously with like the lack of accountability and everything, I started to really kind of you know, fall down in the rankings.
Yeah, he's talking about COVID right here. This is 2.5 years old, 3-year-old, probably 3-year-old, 3 years ago. So around the time of COVID, his performance started to decline because of his home, among other things, and because of his inner world too. But this is older. It's been in my archives for a while, and I got a bunch more I haven't released yet in my archives.
To be honest, like my sales and also my work performance was really dropping.
And why is that?
It was a couple things. The first one was definitely laziness. I'll tell you that. It was definitely, I was being lazy. I wasn't being very attentive to what was actually expected of me and what I needed to go and do.
And why is that?
I'd say I just didn't feel that there was a point to it all. Is really it. It just to me, it just felt like I was just going through the motions day after day, and I didn't find any enjoyment. I didn't really see why I was even doing this job anymore, because I was like, oh, it's getting boring and everything. And as a result, I just started to kind of let everything start to fall apart.
And this was after your session.
Well, this was like just after. This was already happening before the session, though.
So you were already starting to get dissatisfied with your job, and then you did a session, and then the dissatisfaction continued to grow.
It a little bit. It started to grow a little bit, but then with the session that we had, I guess my mind was able to, my thinking like rewired itself, because then I realized, I was like, no, like this job is still really important right now, and this is something that I also want to still do really, really well in, especially since because remember before I didn't see that I had any kind of I didn't see that I was worthy of any attention or help or anything like that before a session. But after that, I started to realize that on my team, especially from my manager, who I knew before he became my manager, we were friends, that he actually genuinely wanted to go and help me improve and such. And before the session, I never saw that. I just saw it as, oh, he's just doing his job. But then now I was like, no, like this guy is actually taking the extra steps to want to see me, do better, which obviously would help him in the long run. But at the same time, he was like, no, he's like, this is where you're basically fucking up, and like you got to go in and make some changes. Like we can go and do it, but you need to go and do it too.
Yeah.
And
so your perceptions of things changed after the session, is that right?
100%. Yeah, 100%. It changed.
I'd say it's because you learned to value yourself more. And so before, your subconscious program was, I'm not worth much. And so when the guy is trying to treat you like you're worth something, trying to help you care about you, you wouldn't interpret it in a way that said, oh, he really cares, I am worth something, because your subconscious program was, I'm not worth much. Would you agree?
I would agree. Yeah,
and
I would
after,
totally
like,
agree.
I'm worth something, and it's like he's treating you like you're worth something, and then it registers like, yeah, I am worth something. He is treating me like I'm worth something. What do you think?
No,
do you think that's on or off?
I think that's 100% it. That's
Yeah.
100% it.
So cool, man. Yeah.
It's
I know exactly how that is.
I've seen it in my own life. It happened for me too.
I've been there, done that. Your perceptions change. Yeah, cool. So keep going. That's awesome.
Yeah, and no problem, man. Just because I remember it's exactly what you just said, was that once I noticed that I was finally worth something, and he was showing me that, it just reinforcing it. I just wanted to, I'd say, put in the work and actually start showing that, yeah, I am worth something. So as I did that, I got more into my work.
Self-esteem is the basis of all high performance. And here's example one right here. We're not just about getting bad beliefs out, bad feelings out. Subconscious optimization. Get the bad out, put the best in, and then you frickin' take off just like this. And you guys who've seen the other client interviews, you know this isn't a fluke, because I got a ton of these stories and they're on video, and you can watch them right here on YouTube to see this isn't a fluke. These are real people and real stories, and there's a lot of them. I do this all the time.
Just to actually, let's start to put in the effort and show that I was putting in the effort, to the point where I think it was like about in August, I became in our department of like over about 150 to at least 200 people in the city. We had a ranking system where they only ranked the top 30, and then
listen to this. This gets crazy.
Everybody else is just, they don't really kind of look at them there. So for me, being at the bottom of the basically bottom of the team, bottom of the barrel of that whole department there.
Do you know you were near the bottom?
I did, because we get bi-weekly updates of where we stand.
Okay.
And I was at the bottom, right? But I wasn't at the very bottom. I was second from the bottom. But the thing is that the person that was at the very bottom, they already left the company. So I was basically at the
second from the bottom, or the bottom, depending on how you look at it. Now listen to what happens next. This is amazing.
Yeah, I was very, very, very low. My position was very I was walking on some very thin ice, is how I should say.
Yeah.
But I was able to go and improve that right away, where in August I jumped from not even being in the top 30 to number 20 in the entire city.
Top 10%.
Yeah, but then it gets even better, because I think it was like a week or two after that, where it was close to the end of August, I went from number 20 up to number 7.
Yeah, I know, man. I saw
Yeah.
that number 7. I'm like, that's number 7. How out of how many? 10? You're like, no, 200. I'm like, yeah.
Let that sink in. The profound changes here. When you change, when you optimize your subconscious, this is what happens. So if you guys, I need to take this course, I need to go some dating, day game approach boot camp, study this, study that, the other, fine, do it. You need that too. But when you get your core fixed, this is this needs to be a component of every effort to up level, because if it's not, many people will read the self-help, even if the information's immaculate, even if it's perfect, you'll read it and you can't absorb it. And many people stay stuck, and they'll read book after book, good books, great information, stay stuck. Or you'll improve, but you won't improve like this. You clear out your core, and then you get the massive benefits. This needs to be at the foundation of any effort to improve your life. Right here. Listen to what's happening to this guy.
Fuck
that
yeah.
puts you in the top
And this isn't a fluke. You guys know it's not a fluke. You just gotta watch my other videos.
3.5% if it's out of 200.
Yeah, totally,
I've done this hundreds of times.
man.
From
And I
the
was
bottom.
Or should I say, I help my clients change their internal belief system, and then they did it. Hundreds of them have done it.
All the way up. How's that feel, man?
Oh, dude, it feels fucking amazing. Like,
Yeah.
it feels fucking
Yeah.
amazing is all I could say.
You go. Yeah.
And I don't mean this to sound like an infomercial, but this is my mission here, to help people like this. Bottom line. That's why I'm going to keep showing these. Most of my videos are going to give you guys great information, keep providing great content, but you got to know this works. This, for me, this is like a victory lap for me. I love this stuff.
Dude, that's so awesome. Dude, totally proud of you, man. Totally proud of you. But
Thank you,
from second to last, or became last, to number 7 out of 200. Amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I feel a lot more confident is the other thing too.
All right. So that's our show. You hear the theory. I give you the theory, and then I show you the case studies to show you it practically works too. That's all I had for today. Let's see. There's a couple comments here from Chemo. So let's address this. What's up, Ryan? Took Christensen's hypnosis, cleared your sexual shame. Ryan Christensen does good work. I like what I do better, but he does good work and he has helped people. So good. That's great. How do I know there's still trauma, limiting beliefs left? Okay, and Tim Costello, Tim also does hypnosis. Tim's a really good friend of mine. He's actually helping me finish the last little bit of editing for my self-hypnosis course. Very good question. So we call it layers of the onion. I talk to people about this all the time. So let's say, you cleared your sexual shame. You say, oh my goodness, this is amazing. I'm doing so much better. And then you just kind of live life. And after a while, you say, you know what? There's something else I'm struggling with. Now, the more you go in, it could be meditation, it can be hypnosis, whatever, and look at what's in your internal world and fix it, the more you become aware of your internal world. For most of us, we just know we're struggling. I'm struggling. I want to do this. Why can't I do this? Why can't I approach this attractive girl? I know I can do this, but why do I always give up? Why do I procrastinate? Why is there resistance to doing this? Why do I feel bad about this? Why do I have anxiety about this when I shouldn't? Things just seem off. After a while, you're going to notice. Maybe it takes 2 weeks. Maybe it takes a month. Maybe it takes 6 months. And after a while, you're going to say, you know what? I got a little too angry there. I got more angry than is proportionate at that. Something's going on internally. Or, I have some anxiety here. It doesn't make sense I have anxiety. Like if you're on a mountain path 2 feet wide and it's 1,000-foot drop to your right, you're going to say, yeah, I should be pretty anxious there because if I'm not careful, I'm going to fall off and die. That's proper anxiety. But if you're like, I want to start this new course. I want to do this side hustle. I'm going to keep my day job so I'm safe. But I want to do something on the side and see where it can go. I can do it. But then you can't do it. You're procrastinating it. You're like, what? Why the hell? Or you're in a social situation. You're like, why do I feel socially awkward here? None of these people are going to bite my head off. None of them are laughing at me. They're just kind of people doing their thing. And after a while, you're going to know something's wrong. Now, the more you dive into your internal world with meditation or self-hypnosis, doing what I do, and I train people to do this. People come to me for a session. I do the session. I do a ton of analysis. I show them self-talk, and I train them how to do self-hypnosis too and build that. I have processes for building your self-awareness of what's going on internally. And the more you do this, the more aware you get. But for those of us who are unaware, we just know we struggle. Man, I'm not able to up level here. Something's off. In the movie The Matrix, they're like a sliver in the back of your mind. And if you really just kind of, stop zoning out with video games or whatever you do to distract yourself. And this is what meditation's great for. Self-hypnosis and meditation, there's a lot of overlap. Although self-hypnosis, you're actually going in and surgically fixing stuff. Meditation, you kind of observe what's there. And there's different types of meditation. So I'm not going to give an overall dissertation on what meditation is because there's many different types. They're both going to build self-awareness. And when you have the self-awareness, you're going to know what's going on internally. Oh, yeah. whenever this thing happens where I struggle, I feel this way, and I know what that feeling's about. I used to have anxiety and had no idea why I had anxiety. I had no clue at all. I'm just like, why am I anxious? And I was constantly anxious. I was like, why am I anxious all the time? I'm anxious. What's it about? I don't know. Now I know. Now something happens. I know exactly. Oh, I'm anxious because of this. I may have to pause and ponder for 10 seconds, 30 seconds, but it's really easy for me to figure it out now. And it doesn't happen very often because, there's always going to be things to fix. I'm aware of maybe 3 programs, 3 out of 10 intensity in me right now. They're small. I've cleared all the 10 out of 10, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. I've cleared all those out. They're all gone. Just pay attention to what's going on in your life. And when you find this resistance, why am I struggling to do this, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, pause and ask yourself intuitively, what is this about? Ponder, write it out. Learn how to do meditation where you can observe your thoughts and your feelings and intuitively start to figure it out. Intuition, our subconscious mind communicates to us through instinct, intuition, emotion. And a lot of times tuning in and learning how to listen to your intuition is going to give you the key more than logical analysis will, just so you know. Logical analysis can work sometimes too, but you're actually using this part of the brain, the cognitive conscious part, to figure out the subconscious. Intuition is your subconscious just telling you. So it's more effective. So, more self-analysis intuitively. Get relaxed, get grounded, quiet down all your buzzing thoughts, and then go inward intuitively. And see if you can connect. When you struggle with something, what's the emotion that's making me struggle? Is it anxiety? Is it I have a sad feeling? Am I angry? Am I pissed off? What is the emotion making you struggle? Our subconscious communicates to us through emotion, instinct, intuition. Then 95% of our behavior is dictated by our subconscious. And yes, you're very welcome, Chemo. Sometimes I answer things ad nauseum, but I will just give an example. I've done sales before, a long time ago, like 20 years ago. I was a salesman and a sales trainer and a regional sales manager at one point. And you read the sales training books, and they all say people buy emotionally. You can use logic and all of that, but at the end of the day, they're going to feel like it and say, yes, this feels right, and I'm going to buy, or they won't, and that's going to be 95% of your sales. So 95% of our subconscious, our behavior dictated by our subconscious, and it's almost always, sometimes we follow our intuition. That could be one way, but more often than not, we want something or we don't. We feel emotion that makes us react a certain way. That's what dictates most of our behavior, and that's subconscious. So that's the world you got to tune into. And you can just ponder and write it out, or do meditation, or do self-hypnosis, or the exercises that I teach people to do. So anyways, that's our show for today, guys. I hope you found that informative. I know it's not a video interview, and that these, interviews are not like, it's not like being on Fresh and Fit where you can like get mad at all these girls who are behaving horribly, and obviously they pick the most horrible behaving girls, and they're in a very materialistic part of the United States, Miami. So, it's not as exciting as that. But if you want real solutions, this is a show you're going to get it from, bar none. You're going to get more solution from this show than anywhere else. So thank you for watching. I don't have all the solutions. I just have a foundational solution pretty much everyone needs that's going to affect your life more than anything else. So I don't know everything, but what I know is super, super freaking important. Thanks for watching the show. You guys can fix your deep down belief systems, can fix anxiety, insecurities, doubts, all of that. Replace it with self-belief, with true, authentic, true blue confidence. You can do it. And once you get that confidence, once you get that belief deep down in your core, you're going to then understand that you truly do have more power than you know. That's our show. Thank you.